Hello and welcome to episode number 96 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is invest and you'll begin to see results. Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trin. Now, I'm just looking at this from a coaching point of view. I remember when I was coaching people online, I was coaching them and a lot of the times the objections were, Lynn, I don't have any money. And for me, when I first started out, I was really naive and I said, look, you know what, that's cool. I really like your story. And this was before I knew sales and marketing. This is before I got good at sales and marketing. The story behind this was guys would tell me, Lynn, I don't have any money. And I would say, okay, that's cool. I really like your story. I know, I can definitely help you with my system. I know, and back then I was using the skip breakfast system, training overload, and they would get results, right? Most of the guys. Now, when I told them that I really liked their story and what I wanted them to do as any good person would, right? I'd like to assume that I was a good person. But especially when I started, I was listening to a lot of these guys and their stories on how they really wanted to get in shape, how they really wanted to make a change, and they just didn't have any money. And so I said, cool, I'm gonna let you in for free. And I want to change your life. And when I change your life, if you can give me a testimonial, refer me to your friends, that would be great. And that was a good call down on my end. I just thought, this is good. I'm going to get clients results. I get more testimonials. Only good things can happen from this. But little did I know that 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, these clients would disappear. Well, they weren't even clients. They were just freebies, right? These freeloaders would disappear and they wouldn't get results. And they would drop off. They'd lose motivation and they'd start on this cycle again. And as with everybody, especially when somebody's coming into your program, they're very excited, they promise the world. And in this world where a lot of people talk and so many fail to walk the talk, I found this out. And why I'm trying to tell you this today is that the fact is, I was complaining about all these guys and I got to a point where I was sick and tired of taking on these guys. So I was like, no, I'm not taking on any freeloaders anymore because they just won't get results. No matter how much I try to help them, the end of the day, I'm not going to get them results. And so this message inside of my head clicked that in order for me to get people results, they need to invest in themselves. They need to invest in themselves. They need to go, I'm going to give you this arm, Lynn. I'm going to give you this freaking arm because I'm committed to getting these results. Will you help me? I'm going to show you how committed I am by putting my arm on the table. Can you be a great coach to me? And when you have clients like that, that's when you can really help them, when they've met their commitment. And why I say that as well is because when I reflect back on me growing my business, there were a lot of times where I would read information, I'd take information on board from blogs, and there'd be all these great marketing material, sales material. And for a long time I read everything because I was bootstrapping stuff. I didn't have any money, there was no capital, there were no investors here in Melbourne. Nobody was out there to give me free money to grow my business, so I had to learn all these things and I had to start it from scratch, and I was figuring out everything. But at the same time, what would happen is this would happen. When I would try something and it would fail, I would stop and I'd move on to the next thing. When I would try something, I'd stop, I'd fail, I'd move on to the next thing. When I would try something, I'd read about something really interesting, I'd stop, I'd fail, and then I'd move on to the next thing. Because you know what? The biggest problem was that I didn't have any skin in the game. I decided to become a freeloader and I decided that I wasn't going to put an arm on the table and that I could get away with this. And the fact is, when I did this, I failed to get any results inside of my business. Inside of my business. I'm telling you this to you today is because if you're lacking the results, it's not because you're lacking the information. The information's there. You and I both know that if you were resourceful enough, you'd go out and find the information. But the fact is, you're not getting results because you're not committed to getting the results. Because when stuff gets a bit too hard, you give up. Because when stuff gets a little bit too hard, when strategies don't work, you and I both know, you're like, oh crap, I'm bad at this. And then you create a negative belief around why you suck at Facebook ads, why you suck at web sites and tech, why you suck at software. And all that does is disempower you. It doesn't do anything to make you better. You're just telling yourself a story that's going to make you worse. It's like you're chopping your own foot and you're giving yourself a handicap for no reason, right? But here's the truth. When you invest in yourself, you actually say, you know what, I'm committed because I'm serious about getting these results. And so what you do is you go, I'm going to play this game and I'm ready to play this game. And so I'm putting my arm on the table. That is my level of commitment to getting these results that I want. And that's all it is. Investing in yourself isn't about buying. It's a really, really funny concept, investing in yourself and your personal development. Most people invest in themselves, not for more information, but they invest in themselves for the ability to follow through and take action on the things that they already know. They invest in themselves, and we live in a world where you need to invest in yourself in order to follow through and keep your word. And why I'm telling you this today is because there's been times where at this very moment in time, if I want to do something at this very moment in time, I have to invest. Whether it's if I have an idea to open up a sales team, then I have to invest and I have to hire 3 people and get an office. Okay, because that's the commitment to me making it happen, to me following through, so that I put my money where my mouth is. If I really am serious about getting into shape, then I'll invest in a coach. If I'm really serious about growing my business to the next level, I'm going to find a mentor who can take me to the next level of where I want to go, and I'm going to invest in him. Because talk is cheap. And there's all this talk that we want to grow our business, we want to have this, we want to have that. But when it comes to making serious commitment and investing in ourselves, most of us fail to follow through. Now, one of the biggest investments I've ever made was to go into Tony Robbins' Platinum Partnership Program and invest in my personal development, because I knew that there was a point in time where even though I was making money, I wasn't being fulfilled. Now, I don't know if you've ever gotten to that stage, but when I thought about when I was broke and I didn't have any money, and I was like, if I make money, I'm going to be so happy, I'm going to be so successful, everything's going to fall into place. And when I reached that point, I was like, uh-oh, something seriously wrong, because I thought that if I reached this stage of making money, I would be happy. And yet I found myself more disconnected from the world, more disconnected from Kerry. I found myself unhappier than I was without money or inside the gym. I found myself stressed, tired, worked out, constantly thinking, the inability to switch off and the inability to enjoy life. I mean, what's the point of doing this if you can't actually enjoy life and actually see and contribute and be happy? So ultimately, at the end of the day, we only do what we do to be happy. And if I was serious about changing, I needed to invest in a mentor. I needed to invest in someone who knew what they were doing, who delivered world-class results. And that is my man, Tony Robbins. There's no one else that I would put on that pedestal but him, to deliver world-class results, to be around the atmosphere, to be around what he stands for. So I'm asking you today, if you're serious about getting results, why haven't you invested in them? What's stopping you? If you're serious about getting results, if getting results actually means a lot to you and you actually want to get results, why have you not invested and taken the step forward to invest in yourself? Because at the end of the day, if you don't invest in yourself, you haven't committed. You haven't said, here's my arm, take it and give it back to me when I actually do what I say I'll do. Because it's so easy to do, it's so easy to talk, but it's so hard to walk. Okay, so I want you to take this concept on board, because if you think about it, and you're probably thinking, I can do this by myself, and your clients are probably thinking the same thing, I can do this by myself. And you and I both know that free clients actually get nowhere. 99.9% of them get absolutely nowhere. And that's what you have to make your clients see, the ability to invest not only in you, but invest by going, I'm committed to actually doing this. They have to be committed. If they're not going to get the results. And if you're not committed, you're not going to get the results. And when I learned this, my whole world changed. Like, the ability for me to make an investment inside myself, inside my business, really, really quick now, because it's so result driven. I just need to ask myself, am I committed to this? Great. Okay, cool. Well, here's the cash. I'm committed to this. So your one task for today is to figure out where in your life, is it your business? Is it your body? Is it somewhere that you're not getting the results and you haven't decided to invest in yourself because you think that you can bootstrap everything, and so you end up being that client inside the gym that gets nowhere because you're cheap? Once you've answered that, let me know inside the Online Trainers Club how cheap you are. I'm actually joking. But go out there and start figuring out and start rewiring yourself, because it's not too late. All right, I hope you have a fantastic day. Do not forget to share this podcast episode with a trainer, a coach, someone who can keep you completely accountable to your goals to make sure that you're moving forward in the right direction.
Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, If you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.